Hello everybody, this is Moletrap, and I am here with Diggity, and we are doing the next commentary of the week. I've lost count of how many there have been, but it doesn't really matter. And this is going to be a very, very excellent commentary of the week. I'm looking forward to this match very greatly. A lot of people are as well. This is XellOs versus Nalra, two flipping legends of StarCraft, facing off against each other in the Pro League. This is going to be absolutely epic. Even if they don't do anything the whole game, it'll be epic. Just the fact that these guys are playing against each other. Nalra, of course, he's called the Dreamer. He's come up with about a third of the strategies ever come up with for Protoss. I'm exaggerating, but he basically revolutionized Protoss at a time when Protoss was considered, you just didn't play Protoss because you couldn't do anything with them, and he showed that they were actually, you could do stuff with them. XellOs, the Perfect Terran is his nickname, just absolutely stormed the scene, and I mean, he played just a perfect game and was known for absolutely perfect micro and astonishing feats of StarCraft in his day. So, neither of these two guys totally on top of their game right now, but just fun to watch just because of their background and just what we know them to be capable of in the past.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time we saw Nalra play. I remember seeing him in MSL Season 3, and then I think in OSL he took a game from 4GG, and 4GG actually probably should have won it, went to the next round and ended up losing. XellOs was looking really strong actually, up until just recently. All of a sudden he's gone to a slump. I think he's looked more precise as of recent. Nalra, it looks like he's getting that pylon near his front door, thinking about already thinking about doing some cheese here maybe, thinking about getting some sort of, I don't know, Dragoon or Zealot in that gap so XellOs won't be able to get a spot in his base. He's known for being creative. Actually, it looks like he's going to go for a fast expand, so getting that fast expansion down. Ooh, and that's pretty risky against XellOs, honestly. XellOs, if he spots us out, I think he will be capable. Basically, I think what he's relying on here is the fact that this is a 4-player map. He's just hoping that XellOs scouts him late, and so a lot is going to depend on this scout. And let's see if XellOs puts it into that upper right-hand corner, or if he goes to any other location on the map. I know that JWD is really looking forward to this matchup. He refused to basically ever write again if we didn't do this. So, no, XellOs is scouting the right direction. So he's going to be able to get that scout into Nalra's base, and now and Nalra's going to get spotted out. We'll see how he reacts, though. Honestly, though, if there's one guy I could say that could just breaks the fast expand left and right, I would say it's XellOs. He's such a vet. He's been playing for so long. He has everything figured out at this point. Now, yeah, as you can see, he's coming across, seeing that fast expansion. We'll see how he responds.
Yeah, Nalra's gateway just coming up, and XellOs already putting down a factory. So he's actually, what he's doing is he had a couple choices. Basically, he could go for a quick push and try and go for try and basically break Nalra before his economy was going up, but instead the fact that he has one SCV on gas means that he's saving up for command center, and he's going to try and match Nalra's economy instead of trying to do a timing push. So it's going to end up being this. It's good for us because that means it's going to be a longer game, and it's going to be very well, it's going to be longer. There's going to be more of it to watch. By the way, I wanted to mention XellOs. Yeah, he actually.
Oh, nice!
Where were his SCVs going anyway? I have no idea where his SCVs were going. But, oh, was he going for maybe he was trying to go for an SCV rush with his one Marine or something like that. I have no idea what was just happening there.
Some sort of bunker push, perhaps.
Maybe some sort of bunker push.
But in the meantime,
Nalra. That was beautiful by Nalra. Oh, that's what he was doing. I didn't see all those Marines. He had 3 Marines out and a 4th coming. Nalra must have seen those Marines and figured that's what he was doing, or maybe he saw the SCVs going out, and there's just Johnny on the spot with those the pylon there, blocking the SCV rush, and now it's going to be too late because he's going to have goons out by the time those Marines reach his door, and that was absolutely crazy. I wanted to mention real quick, XellOs, he was playing badly, and he actually demoted, this is a little bit of trivia, he demoted himself to B team to vote himself to practicing and getting his skills back up, and when he came back from that, then that's when he actually broke out and went pretty far in the MSL and that sort of thing. So that shows you the commitment that he has. Yeah, you're right, Nalra, he hasn't been playing too much lately because he hasn't been on top of his game since that MSL. That's kind of like almost the last MSL for both those players, perhaps. But so XellOs' little push with SCVs has been stopped. He's going to have to get some tanks out here pretty quick to deal with these Dragoons. I don't think he's going to be able to cut it with just Marines at this point. Or or at least mines.
Ooh, using some nice micros. You can see pushing around. He's got that SCV pushing up, and this is going to buy him a little bit of time. You saw him pulling back. He still lost that vulture, but he managed to inflict enough damage on those dragoons to at least pull them back. Maybe and he's going for that expansion and bringing up the tank now, so it looks like he's going to be okay. He doesn't have anything blocking the gap for that zealot that's going to push up though, and almost one dragoon having to back off now, almost now, but another dragoon, another zealot pushing up as well as additional dragoons. I like the setup from Nalro's base, and I want to comment on this now before it's too significant. As you can see, it's really built for anti-vulture, which can be very strong in this map. So the third expansion is going to be the issue, of course, but right now it looks like his base is just really, it's prepared to go in. And an engineering bay to block that front door, so it looks like XellOs is expecting turrets. That has been stopped. That tank just trying to push off those dragoons at the front door. In the meantime, looks like range upgrades almost finished, so that tank is going to be in a little bit of trouble here in a moment. I don't know how close Siege Tech is. Now, as you can see, 2 tanks have been produced, so actually I'm guessing actually that Siege Tech is probably delayed off that second tank. Usually, yeah, because that second Siege tank was up very quickly. Maybe my time's off there. And that barracks might in fact go down. There's Siege Tech right there. We'll see if he can finish that engineering bay in the meantime. Want to get a spot, and yeah, finally going back to normal space. We're getting a check the tech. There is in fact a robotics facility down. I'm going to assume that's for an observer though, as opposed to anything else. Second factory now going down for XellOs, so both players look like they're going to start to macro up. And I think at this point what it's going to come down to, XellOs better go up and repair that barracks because it is in the red actually. I don't know if he realizes that. It's slowly burning here. So we'll see if he's going to key in on that or he's just going to leave it. Maybe he'll just send out 2 SCVs, one to repair and one to build that engineering bay. But yeah, it's really going to come down to, as you can see, Nara starting to spread out, try to create a bit of a contain, but I think it's going to come down to the third base of Nara. If Nara can cap that third base, he's going to be in a strong position. But ooh, going at Stargate early, so maybe he's not even going to bother with it at this point.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty. We've seen a lot of Protoss going for 2 base carriers recently. He could be doing something like that. The fact that he doesn't have many troops on the ground would indicate to me that he probably is going to go for carriers as opposed to arbiters, which you see later on in the game. And you know, like we said, Nalra, leave it to Nalra to think of something interesting to do. And not that it's particularly unique to go for carriers, obviously, but in any case, XellOs getting another factory down. I don't think he did repair that barracks. He got his engineering bay finished as well. It does look like he's planning for some kind of a Reaver harassment or something like that, which is the pretty standard thing. He doesn't have comsat, and he has not been able to get an observer, a scout into Nalra's base in a long time, so he's not going to know this is coming at all. The turrets are going to be able to do a little bit to delay, but it's not going to be enough. Finally has those full upgrades on the vultures, and 2 vultures sneak out right between that blockade of dragoons. And you're right, that Nalra's base is beautifully set up to protect against vultures and scouts and what have you. This vulture is not going to be able to get in there at all. It is worth mentioning that that's one of the reasons why this map does favor Terran. Mostly it favors Terran because of all the ridges everywhere that you can shell things from. I think there's been something like, oh, sorry about that little ding sound, that was something else in the background. I think I think that I don't remember what I was saying that I thought anymore, but oh yeah, there's been like 35 games or something like that played on this map total, 40 maybe, and almost 30 of them have been Terran versus Terrans because people refuse to send out anything but a Terran on this map. So a little ballsy of Nalra to come out on this map. But we'll see how that goes. And XellOs is doing pretty well. He hasn't really had much damage done to him. The harassment took out a couple Marines in the beginning, and that didn't really accomplish much. But at the same time, XellOs has not been able to do any harassment against Nalra either. So both players just basically have been macroing up and protecting up this whole game. Nothing has been done quite yet, and those carriers are on the way. So it's gonna be come down to how XellOs responds to these carriers once he finally sees them. He still doesn't have comsat, so he's not going to know about them.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he's doing this on Wuthering Heights, because usually we saw this on Katrina a lot simply because it was hard to get good pushes off, but this is Wuthering Heights. It's got a big, huge, flat land in between here, so Nara's basically betting that he can stop, pushing in, killing that tank really quick. This is exactly what I was just about to say he needs to do. He just needs to go up, put pressure on early, and make sure that that timed push will not be successful, and he's just had units outside just prepared to pounce on it, as you can see a little bit earlier. Now, like, yeah, stopping that very... wow, that was aggressive. Just put his foot down on the throat of XellOs right there as soon as he thought about pushing off. And so that's exactly what he needed to do. He just needs to stop that timing push. Looks like XellOs actually has a couple... this is uncharacteristic. He's got a couple of those dead SCVs in the... or idle SCVs, I should say, in the back of his base. Very uncharacteristic. I think he still might be a little shell-shocked from that push there. And you can see Nalra in the meantime bringing up some troops. He just needs to buy himself some time, and then as soon as those carriers start pushing down, yeah, it's going to be hard for XellOs to fight them off. I don't think I've seen an armory yet, actually. I got to assume there's an armory in the back of his base, because it's now sealing in his front door, because... no, I still don't see an armory in the back of his base. I assumed he was going to go for some sort of flash build, but in the meantime, he has in fact not gone for the third expansion in the meantime. But yeah, he's got to get it done here, otherwise Nalra's just going to be able to run over him in a second.
Yeah, XellOs has his expansion. He snuck an SCV out. He may have... I'm not sure if he was going for a push at that point. He may have just been trying to secure the 6 o'clock base. But either way, yeah, Nalra stomping down on that pretty hard. But Nalra, he's short on troops. I don't know if he's... well, I mean, he's been investing, obviously, in the carrier, so he doesn't have a lot of troops on the ground. Finally, an armory going up for XellOs. But by the time he gets Goliaths out, Nalra's going to have 4 carriers in the air. XellOs, he's not gotten a comset. I really feel that XellOs is in a horrible position here. He doesn't have comset. He's not going to know these carriers are coming. He's totally planned for Reavers, and the Reavers haven't come. Obviously, he knows the Reavers aren't coming. But he's playing a totally standard game, as if Nalra is going to be standard. A little bit of battle going in here, and Nalra engaging. Oh, his Dragoons are going to get surrounded here. Surrounded by mines. If those mines go off, oh, 3 mines. Oh, only a couple Dragoons pop. A couple more Dragoons pop. So a lot of Dragoons popping there. One almost dead. So this actually looks bad for Nalra. He's going to have to bring those carriers out to save his butt right now. No, wait. XellOs is pulling back. I don't know why XellOs is pulling back. He has superior forces. Those Dragoons are almost dead. He still doesn't have comsat. He doesn't know the carriers are there. That's the one thing that's going to be bad for him. He's got to be expecting something. Maybe that's why he got his army up, other than upgrades. But, and oh, man,
you're somehow getting in there.
Scout just getting shut down. He's not going to be able to get back and see those carriers. I still don't think he's seen them at all. He gets a couple vultures back there to get some probes harassed him. But, yeah, I don't know why XellOs isn't pushing. He just killed Nalra's army. And he... oh, well, now he sees the carriers if he didn't before. He might have gone under them before, I'm not sure. Maybe that's why he fell back, because he didn't want his tanks to just get picked off by carriers. Finally putting out Goliaths, but there are 4 carriers in the air, and they're going to just be able to pick off those tanks. XellOs basically needs to keep those tanks alive to kill the Dragoons. Otherwise, the Dragoons are going to kill off his Goliaths, and that will be the end of it.
Ooh, producing a lot of Goliaths very quickly, as you can see that third base. Now Nalra's in a bit of trouble, actually, I would say, because XellOs is running out of 3 bases, and keep doing that. XellOs will be able to produce a lot of Goliaths here. He's got those 6 factories down. He's already pushed off a little bit. We'll see if XellOs can... as you can see, yeah, he got a ton of Goliaths up really fast. Very powerful economy, and he does have the factories to produce. As you can see, Nalra pulling around, trying to go after that third base. He needs to be careful with those Goliaths, so they're very separated from any sort of protection. He's relying on mines for defense here, and taking down... yeah, as you can see, those Dragoons coming up underneath, and he's going to be able to pick a lot of that off. I don't think XellOs can continue to sacrifice Goliaths like that. In the meantime, he's going to lose that expansion to the 6 o'clock location. So actually, Nalra doing exactly what he needs to do, doing some economic damage. Let's see if he produces some more carriers in the meantime, and goes from a south... a kind of in from the west, I should say, the southwest. Now some tanks sieging up, trying to pin those Dragoons to the south. But as you can see, the Dragoons have backed off in the meantime. I still think XellOs is in a bit of trouble. More carriers being produced alongside. He does have a decent-sized Goliath force up, but I still think Nalra's in a very good position. We'll see if he decides to expand in the meantime. He does have a probe out there at the upper left-hand corner to expand alongside, because right now, essentially, Nalra's using those carriers as some sort of contain, and those Dragoons pushing in, getting popped left and right. I'm not sure. I guess those were tempted in, and Nalra looking a little bit rusty there. XellOs able to push up and tempt those Dragoons in to just get shelled. Some Zealots are coming alongside, but they are not speed upgraded. Need to be speed upgraded. All sorts of turrets, all sorts of Goliaths. So XellOs is going to be able to shell up. We'll see if he can produce a decent-sized force to get some sort of attack force going up, and nothing to support these carriers. And that is enough Goliaths to really hunt this off. And there's a lot of open spaces on this map. That's why you don't generally see players go carrier on this map. Although someone would pull it off, it is Nalra. He's got just killer carrier micro. In the meantime, expanding the 12 o'clock location. I was expecting him actually to expand. He's still got that probe up left corner, but now a large carrier force pushing up. Man, I actually would say this is going to come down. This is going to be tit for tat. It's going to be really close either way.
Oh man, XellOs needs to protect his expansions. The reason he's not in the lead right now is because Nalra spotted that 6 o'clock expansion, and he could not protect it. He was just not in a good position. He had a good front door with his tanks and the turrets, but it was completely wide open at 6 o'clock for him to go over there and just for Nalra to just go over and pick it off. He cancels the 3 o'clock expansion, so that's not too big of a loss. But in the meantime, he's got 6 o'clock. He needs to get 6 o'clock back up and running. All kinds of interceptors all over the damn place there. And XellOs has built up a lot of Goliaths, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough because in the meantime, Nara has built up, it looks like 8 carriers, which is a lot of carriers. They've got Dragoon support as well. Despite him losing a few Dragoons earlier, if he can keep that 6 o'clock position, if he can keep that 6 o'clock base, he might be able to put out enough Goliaths to deal with this, but it's going to be difficult because Nara is on the verge of having, 10 carriers, 12 carriers in just a couple minutes here, and that will be extremely difficult for him to fend off, especially with a little bit of Dragoon support. Wow, Charon boosters going to work and doing their jobs there, but it's going to be hard for XellOs to basically be in more than one place at once. He's going to have to defend more than one position at once, and that's going to be difficult for him to do, having to move his tanks around, siege and unsiege and that sort of thing, as long as Nalra keeps up the mix of carriers with the Dragoons to support them. It's going to be difficult. He's trying to take 3 o'clock again, hoping that Nalra doesn't spot it. We'll see if he does or not.
Ooh, XellOs sneaking in behind. It looks like he's going to go for some sort of flank maneuver here. Might even push in. No, he's going to draw back to the 6 o'clock location, realizing he can't sacrifice that yet again. That base is going to go down almost instantaneously, though. Now setting up back near his main. So right now, Nara just doing a beautiful job of essentially containing XellOs, moving back and forth. You can see XellOs once again backing off that 6 o'clock location. Nara's in firm control of this, I would say. Even though there is the X factor right here is that upgrade. Weapons 1 has been upgraded for XellOs, whereas it looked like Weapons 1 was being upgraded from Nara on the opposite side, but it doesn't look like it's finished yet. It looks like and trying to expand in the middle, so it looks like XellOs' strategy at the moment here is just to keep building expansions to keep Nara busy while he tries to get an expansion up of his own and get some sort of attack going. He has established a tank line in the middle right there with the Goliaths and has them somewhat pinned to the floor right there. And now it looks like he's thinking about doing a push to the 12 o'clock location and pushing straight on Nara's base. In the meantime, Nara going to push and try to take out the factories here and cut that precious Goliath resupply here. Yeah, it looks like the tank's starting to back off, and there's nothing defending Nara's base at this point, and that is a huge amount of Goliaths. Nara's troop is entirely out of position. If XellOs decided to commit right there, I think he would actually be able to, I don't know, though, because I think he's still losing those factories backside. So really bad, yeah, it's just kind of troop movement at this point. Tanks pushing up against that Goliath line. We'll see if they can siege. Oh my goodness. I don't know that, that was just a really bad siege spot, and it looks like those tanks are going to get taken out, and I think that's going to be it for XellOs. I don't think he can hold up now. He doesn't have anything to protect those Goliaths underneath.
Yeah, sorry, XellOs, I don't think he expected those Dragoons to be there. It looked like his tanks were on move instead of attack move. They just ran in there and just got swamped and actually absolutely surrounded. Several tanks getting taken out before, and you're right. Now that the tanks, he needed those 6 or 7 tanks to hold back these Dragoons, and now that there's nothing to hold back the Dragoons, he's already lost a lot of Goliaths anyways. He's lost a factory to those carriers. I don't think there's any way XellOs can hold this off right now. I'm going to expect, XellOs is one of the players that will hold out to the last minute, but he's probably going to have to bow out here pretty soon. I don't think there's any way he can hold this off. There's just a ton of carriers there, and now that he doesn't have a mass of Goliaths, as soon as the Goliaths pop out, they're going to get popped by carriers, and there's nothing that XellOs can do about it at this point. Nalra takes the game. Nalra winning the game. Nalra, who I think most of us expected to lose this game because he seems to be a little bit more out of practice than XellOs. He has pulled out a win with an unexpected carrier rush on an unusual map to do that on, and as usual, surprised us all. XellOs, stony-faced as usual, although I do think I sense a slight tinge of disappointment in his expression, which is more than he usually shows, so amazing to see that. And Nara giving his team some well-deserved high 10s. Definitely well played by Nara, I gotta say, although I think the main point that turned it there was the fact that XellOs did not get comsat or a scout in at any point and just didn't know what was going on. What is Nara doing here?
Umbrella. I guess the KTF Umbrella is going, or I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's weird. KTF Umbrella exchanged for a sign so you can hold it up. And I can tell you what that says. It says, I am awesome. And I just beat XellOs, and XellOs is now in total shock. That's all it says.
That's a lot of words for Yellow there, another old school player, giving him a thumbs up. Wow, so excellent play on both players' parts, I think, although I really wish XellOs had gotten a scout off on those carriers a little bit earlier to make a little bit more of a match of it. Nalra just had too many carriers before he got Goliath and was just able to push him back the whole time. And there, by the way, that was the last game. Nalra actually just took the game for KTF. And kind of a big win for KTF too, since the Pro League is so close these days. So that's why they're going out and giving a team bow there. And that's Nalra, whose armor on Flash. I haven't seen the rest of the matches, but presumably Flash getting another win for the team in the set.
So anyway, I guess that is going to wrap it up for us. So KTF bowing a well-deserved victory. Yeah, XellOs looked really shocked there. Really absolutely dumbfounded, and I have to say, yeah, very unexpected strategy on the map from this. Usually you'll see Arbiters out in the field, or you'll at least see, I don't know, Templar, some more of an expansion type game, and XellOs is basically, yeah, going in with going for a long game macro mentality, and XellOs was going for, I'm sorry, Nalra was going for the kill and flow. So, well deserved from Nalra. In the meantime, guys, check out the multi-site tour. It's been going on. If you go to SC2GG, we have some coverage of it. Also, if you go to GameFire.com, the videos are live. We've done some commentary. I know Moldrap's planning on doing some commentary this weekend. Basically, top foreign teams, TOT, MyMYM. .com. You can read all about it there. I could just go on and on about it.
Yeah, and also, by the way, if you're interested in helping us out at SC2GG.com, we are looking for people to help us out with, whatever you want to do. We still need a few more writers. A couple web designers wouldn't hurt, I suppose. So if you have some elite bow staff skills, I mean computer hacking skills. So if you're interested, stop by the chat channel, sc2gg.com/chat, and you can join us in there and just let us know you're interested, and we'll see if we can work something out. That about covers it, and I'm probably going to have the vote for the next commentary of the week up by the time this is uploaded. So check the video description and go ahead and go vote on what game you want to see next week.
Yeah, so thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. And yeah, once again, check out scforall.com and gamefire.com for the commentary on the multi-site tour. That's been some of the stuff I've been doing in the meantime. And hopefully we'll catch up on a lot of this MSL, OSL stuff in the meantime. We've been kind of falling behind a little bit. I think everyone's been getting busy with everything. So yeah, sorry for the delays across that board. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.